dispensing with the consent agenda. Items number 25300 to 25320. Please note the conditions of approval as recommended by the various committees and the recusals. Staff has noted Commissioner Nielsen's recusal from item 25307. Are there any other recusals not noted? No. Let the record show there are no other recusals. Will someone please make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. I see a unanimous approval. So now we'll conclude the public meeting. Thank you. Oh, the consent agenda. Now the
Here.
now the okay. So first item is
What?
public hearing. Yes. But no, Paula was going to.
Did you call in for this?
Can I?
No.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Paula.
I feel kind of
Well done, Paul.
Hey.
Let's make sure that
Oh, we already have that.
Marty Martinez
Oh,
is
yeah,
invited.
that's on Renee's there.
He made that he made it happen.
Yeah.
He was the state senator from that area, and this was on his agenda all the way through. It would never have happened had it not been for him. Okay, sure. I think he would love to be invited to that.
Okay, let's move forward. Okay,
Oh, sorry.
please introduce yourself and begin.
When do we eat lunch? After this.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jim Welsh from Thomas Balsley Associates. We're here today to present the Broadway Bedford Plaza redesign. Sorry. The Broadway Bedford Plaza is coming out of the DOT's Plaza program, where basically they're taking some underutilized open space in the community, spaces that were roadways for the most part, and turning them into public open spaces. The one we're talking about today is in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn, just south of the Williamsburg Bridge. The reason this plaza is being chosen is currently a temporary plaza, roadway with epoxy gravel on top of it, with some boulders and some planters around it. The reason it's being advanced into a permanent plaza is because of its location, proximity to lots of different bus routes, mass transit in the area, access to lots of different bicycle routes in the purple, and then just looking at the overall area, it seems to be in the center of an area that doesn't have very many green spaces, public open spaces. The space that we're looking at, as I said, is just south of the Williamsburg Bridge, Broadway, South 6th, and Bedford Avenue. Here those names mentioned a couple of times as we go through the presentation. The overall project area is outlined in the red. The primary plaza area are the areas shaded by the red. The areas outside of the shade, there's going to be a water utility line that's going to be replaced there. So that's why the project limits are expanded a little bit there. Existing photos, so you get a feel for the area. The plaza is two different spaces, one to the west of Bedford, one to the east of Bedford. This is looking at the west space. This is looking at the east space. The buildings adjacent to the east space, a little bit more prominent, the Waugh Center, Williamsburg Art and Historic Cultural Center. View looking to the south. View looking from the west plaza to the east portion of the plaza. What you see here is the Waugh Center, existing granite sidewalks. The Waugh Center is a landmark building. The plaza currently, as I said, is the epoxy gravel with stripes, planters, and boulders. We're going to lift it up so that it's a curved, now full permanent plaza. There are some existing medians out in the street with some relatively new shade trees there. Once again, on the Law Center and the East Plaza. View looking from the west to the east again, medians, new trees, tables and chairs in the East Plaza. There are a couple of drainage issues currently out there where water is not flowing, so this project will correct those as well. Bus showing that this is part of the existing bus routes in the area. To the west, of the West Plaza, there is an existing parking lot there, just as a point of reference. Some of the buildings that are in the area most prominently are neighbor the Law Center. These are buildings to the right of the Law Center, to the east of the Law Center, and this is to the south of our plaza, and to the northwest of the plaza as well. These stores are pizzerias, mostly eateries, a winery as well. We've met with the community workshops 2 times, in December and September of 2014 and January of 2015. The elements that came out of that is that they did want more trees in the area. They like the tables and chairs that are currently there. They wanted a drinking fountain, a concession kiosk is what they're hoping for, screen adjacent parking lot, protect the edges but remove just the boulders that you're seeing in many of the other temporary plazas. Work with some of the historical lighting that's supposed to be coming to the area and provide areas for small-scale performances. The areas that we're talking about, the west once again is about 2,600 square feet, the east is about 5,600 square feet. This is the illustrative plan for Broadway Bedford Plaza. This is the area that I'm calling the west portion and then the east portion. To orientate ourselves, this is the Law Center here. Some of the storefronts in the area. The parking lot that we talked about is over here on this side. This is Broadway, Bedford, and South 6th. Okay. What we're doing is taking our cues from what we learned about our community meetings. We wanted to try and separate the plaza from the street traffic, taking out the old boulders, and we started to use some plantings to help create that separation. We used a striped carpet of tinted concrete, 2 tones of tinted concrete, and we carried that both in the East and West Plaza to visually connect the 2 spaces. We oriented the stripes to carry the eye into the storefronts and hopefully give a little bit of help them enjoy the project and bring a little bit of popularity to some of their stores. The planter shapes and forms we carried through also from the East and West. Angular forms with a long edge. The planters are a low curve planted area, and then certain edges, this edge, and this edge, have granite seat walls on them. The curves themselves are granite as well. We left an open space through the middle for a couple of reasons. There's utilities buried below. There's emergency vehicle access that we have to get through there. And also DOT's idea for this is to leave a majority of the space open so that in the future there could be events planned there. Still 5,600 square feet, but it can hold a small community event. Other amenities that would be used in the plaza, tables and chairs, there would be umbrellas that go along with it. We have a DOT standard area sign, drinking fountain. For now, we're calling it out as a potential future kiosk area. The trees that you see, the lighter tinted trees, these are all proposed trees for the project. The darker trees around the perimeter are all existing. The light poles that are going to be in the area, as we said before, Type M light poles. I have an example of those I'll show you in a moment.
Can you get a few more trees on the south side of Broadway?
This is where we're starting to run into those utility lines. So current DEP regulations are stopping us.
But how about on the south side of Broadway?
On the south side of Broadway.
It looks sort of empty.
I think we can talk about that. It's within the project area, so I think we can discuss that. We consider. Just to give you an idea for some of the spaces, dimension-wise, we're leaving 10 feet in this area so that circulation can continue along Broadway, pedestrian circulation all the way through. We can also have pedestrian circulation going up and down South 6, uninhibited 13-8, 10 feet between the tree pits that are along Broadway. 17.6 will give us the large open area for community use, varied uses in there.
Are those median, are those there now?
Yes, those are currently existing.
I will say that for most plaza projects, we ask that you show the extent of the utilities and the offsets
Okay.
so that we can understand whether there are indeed more tree planting opportunities other than
We can
just
provide you with that diagram.
taking your word for it.
It's been in other presentations that we used for the year. These are sections through the different areas. This is the West Plaza. Our plaza actually ends about here. So you see the 3 trees that are there. The low planter with the seat wall around portions of the planter. Tables, chairs, and umbrellas. On the east side, once again, you see the 4 trees. These 4 trees up against the storefront. The 2 are in the larger planter. These 2 are standing alone in regular tree pits.
You said something about a planter? What do you mean by the planter?
The planter is a low curved area with ground cover, possibly maybe just a low shrub.
But the tree is into the earth, it's not just into a pot.
No, it's in the curved area is what I was calling a larger planted area.
Okay.
Can you improve the life of the 2 other trees with structural soil or soil cells or something or other? Otherwise, they're going to grow very disproportionately to each other.
I think we can do structural soil would be our first. We provided a couple of views for what this plaza might look like. First, from the east, a bird's eye view into the plaza. Working our way east to west, we see the 4 trees. These 2 are coming down into that area that I was calling a planter, the curved area. Then these 2 are in the 5x10 standard DOT planting tree pit area. The striped paving with the joints aligning with the standard DOT paving along the storefronts.
So is that a curve along?
This is a curve around there, and then this piece here becomes the seat wall.
But I think the plaza is curved too, right?
This is a curve, yes,
Okay,
it's
that was-
raised off the pavement.
Got it. Thank you.
This area is also the planter with the seat wall. Tables and chairs in the middle that will be movable, locked up at night. The people that we're working with that will take care of the plaza on a regular basis is the Aesthetic Urban Works is the name of the group. Looking further to the west, this planter we're thinking of more as a ornamental planter, seasonal plantings, a little more colorful plantings in there. And then we're also showing the Type M light fixtures in the area.
Who's paying for the M poles?
David Green from DOT,
It's from our,
It's what?
from the borough president.
The borough president's paying for it.
Yes. Bringing it down to more of an eye level view. Again, the 10-foot wide path so that people can easily pass along Broadway. Seat wall on a portion, and then just curved area around the planting. Tables and chairs with umbrellas. Bike racks, and then off into the distance, more tables and chairs on the other west portion of the plaza.
Are the planted areas irrigated,
Not right here.
and they're going to be maintained by what group?
Aesthetic Urban Works, the local community partner.
And how are they going to do that? They're going to be in charge of watering?
Yes, they'll be in charge of watering after the standard maintenance agreement from the installation contractor.
I have a question on the paving, the alternating stripes. What was it again?
It's tinted concrete,
Yeah.
20 inches wide
And, and,
by 5 feet long.
and what is the roadway?
The roadway is asphalt.
Well, the asphalt and the darker look, in this rendering, look very similar. They probably would in reality. Which does not, in my view, adequately distinguish or separate your new lovely little plaza from the roadway. What about going to white and a kind of rich terracotta color in lieu of the black?
What we've been working with, we tinted concrete.
Well, I think that could add to the talent.
David? Help.
So for ease of maintenance, we like to stick with DOT's street design manual when selecting paving samples, so paving surfaces, so they can be maintained by DOT.
I think that you can take lessons from the diversity of the city that you so beautifully serve, and that is go beyond those guidelines. In fact, it looks a little bit like the extension of the street. It's kind of confusing because sometimes black and white stripes are used to demark certain zones and streets, and I think you should question those guidelines, and I would love to encourage that, and certainly see a rendering that shows us what that would look like. if we were to
Terracotta
do
would
it.
be a great idea.
Yeah, I thank you for the suggestion. I think that's a very good observation, and I think that we can still explore options that are within the street design manual that would achieve the intention that
Thank
you
you.
suggest.
I guess the budget can't support another material that you do have in your manual. Is that true?
We would want to, as I said, for ease of maintenance, we would want to stick with the DOT standard concrete, but perhaps, as you mentioned, terracotta, one thing we could look to could possibly be an exposed aggregate finished concrete, which in terms of tone would be along the lines that you're thinking. And that is a material that DOT can maintain, so that's perhaps something that we can consider.
That's good. Let's give it a try.
Sure. This is just giving you, without all the trees and the vegetation, giving you a clear understanding of what pavements are where. This is the tinted concrete going through, standard sidewalk up against the buildings, and this is the existing granite around the landmark.
Do you think that the community group, just because I know this comes up on many other projects, would want some kind of protection around the plant beds from dogs largely? Because I guess these are quite flush, so you've got existing trees that you're enveloping.
No, actually, none of the trees that we are developing are existing. They're all proposed. The only existing tree really is this guy
I
over
see,
here.
okay. So how high,
It was 6 inches off the pavement is where we're currently at with our curb. So we're giving it a little bit of protection, hopefully steering the pedestrian traffic, but I just,
I mean, I guess the question is, if between now and final, there is pushback, which direction are you likely to go? Raise the planter or add a rail?
I think we like the seat walls in the places where they are, so raising up the curb any further would almost make them equal to the seat wall, unless it was another 2 inches, which I don't think would do that much for us. So I think we'd be maybe more inclined to going with a rail, but we'd have to talk with everybody.
Right, no, just because I think I've never done a project with exposed landscape in a public right of way. And this is a question for DOT. Where are you standing with your kiosk design?
So we're planning to actually come back to you guys and brief separately on the whole universe of kiosks. We're working on preparing materials now and should have something within the next couple of months.
Terrific, thanks.
I have a question. So the parking lot, is that a private parking lot that's there?
So what we had to do is, although the community wanted us to screen it, it might be the front door or a side of a building, so we couldn't get too close to it. So that's why the standard DOT concrete kind of has to wrap around. If our kiosk comes in, when our kiosk comes in, that would create a bit of a screen until something gets developed there. We definitely provide the screen to the community.
And then another question is there a reason that the medians couldn't be elongated? Because it seems there's like a lot of, if you go back to the street view, that's more drawing.
Are you
Yeah.
So I guess what Commissioner Hank is saying is, why can't that median be extended to the end of the striping? Right? Isn't that what you were?
Yeah.
So it's something that we can take a look at. In most cases, the refuge islands are designed really to provide a place for pedestrians at the intersections. And that going beyond that, it gets into a question of traffic safety as well as fire access in terms of people cross over that median, depending. And again, it's something that we can take a look at, but we need to see it in context of the entire street grid there, so it may be difficult to expand it without going beyond the project limits for this plaza.
Well, because it seems like you've got a fire lane, you've provided a fire lane shot right through the site, right?
Right.
To go here, so presumably the fire trucks are doing that. Seems like you could maybe get another tree or two in here, is really the,
But when the medians go along a whole strip of roadway, do you discourage people from just crossing wherever by having the medians raised? Because if you extended that median, people might decide they're going to cross up or down from the intersection, and I would imagine that would be unsafe. Like, wouldn't that part of the median have to be raised?
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation that we face in a lot of parts of the city. That's why you see some of the sort of poor fences on like boulevards, something along those lines. So we do try to avoid that unless we can think about it more comprehensively and cohesively with the full extents. You know, again, because this is a small part of striping, it may be something that we can look at, but usually from a traffic safety point of view, it's tough to extend those beyond just the intersection where they provide that safety benefit.
I was just thinking more like along Broadway, on the upper west side, where there's medians and there's a lot of grass. I mean,
Okay.
shrubbery,
right.
where no one would actually walk across because you have to walk through a lot of dirt. So I was just thinking that you could add to the greenery in that area without kind of making it too much of a.
It's just that I know that as part of the Plaza Project program, it's very much in your mindset to improve pedestrian safety with bulb outs or whatnot. So, and since you are going to have to reconstruct the entire road if you're digging it up for a water line, I'm just suggesting that you actually go to the trouble and ask the geometry folks whether this is possible.
Yeah, we can certainly take a look at that.
Because you're going to be ripping up the road anyway, otherwise it would be a lot of money. Did you have more you wanted to show us? I saw some.
Yeah, images of what the striped paving might look like. A little bit about the planting. The planting, we said this is an existing tree, a honey locust. We're going to continue that through this area. We think the honey locust is the proper tree for this area. Light leaf allows sight lines through to the storefronts. And then over on this side, we're going with the swamp white oak, which we think is a nice tree that will tolerate the urban conditions right up against the curb there as well. All the other trees around the perimeter that we're showing examples of are existing. At the ground plane, we said this would be more of an ornamental planting area, changed out seasonally by the community partner, and more of a low evergreen, probably ground cover, maybe might grow up into a low shrub in those areas. The seat wall that we talked about would be a curb, or for most parts, just this part, and then it grows into a seat wall, and the curb will grow a little bit to support that, probably about 16 inches high. It will have a notch in it along the front edge to prevent skateboarding or other users trying to use it as a climbing edge. Other seating in the area would be the tables and chairs that are movable, locked up, taken care of on a regular basis by the community partner. Lighting, there was interest in finding out a little bit more about the M poles and the overall program. It's going to go beyond just our small area there. So you can see the extent of where the M poles will be installed or plan to be installed. Images of the M poles, specifically for our plaza, will have a single arm, a twin arm, and then a single arm with a traffic signal. Just some of the standard elements, DOT's elements that would be in the plaza, the DOT wayfinding signage area. The drinking fountain would be a 2-height drinking fountain to allow people with disabilities not able to reach
More trees.
Here, possibly in here. both sides.
This is a small point, but the relationship between the end of this and the point of this is unfortunate. I mean, moving this further out would have to really expand the visual impact of what you're doing.
I'd say the same thing's true on the west side.
It is, absolutely.
Okay, understood. Love to get a chance to expand the greenery, as we said.
Yeah, and kind of line, if you could line up with this building face here.
But we do think that there's a bus stop on that south side that would prevent tree planting on the south side of Broadway,
Oh,
where Commissioner Pearsall had mentioned. We'll confirm that for sure, but we think
Okay.
there's a bus stop that's preventing that.
okay. All right, any other comments?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Are we voting?
Buddy.
Oh, excuse me, public.
We're voting with all of these conditions?
Okay, so this is for preliminary? So you've taken
I
note?
took notes.
Okay, so,
So move with conditions?
yes, all in
Second.
favor, please raise your hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have
Thank you.
preliminary. Thank you.
Before they come back.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Come back to staff.
Okay.
Two staff in DC, are they, one is pregnant and just a baby.
Do you want to just bring a larger model? The big one? Apparently not.
Sorry.
Hi, Gail, how are you?
Good afternoon, Faye, commissioners. I'd like to say hello to the new members on the commission. I'm Gail Rothstein, the liaison for the DC. Hudson Park and Boulevard, Phase 1, received your final approval in January of 2012. Those are blocks from West 33rd to 36th. They are under construction now. We anticipate they will be completed by summer, and you will see some progress photographs in this presentation. We are here today seeking your preliminary approval for Phase 2 or Block 4 from 36th to 37th Street. And you will notice that this is being developed with the same design framework as Phase 1. Presenting today is Liz Silver from NVDA.
I just want to point out to my fellow commissioners a very important point in the presentation. There's an asterisk by a number of things that you'll see as you move through, and those have to, and so just read that little note there, because it's important. Okay.
Is that all of those are items that are carried through and were previously approved in the first three blocks
Oh.
and are being continued in this block because it's part of the larger master plan and they should all be continuous in their design, vision, and language.
So you don't want us to object to those?
It would be problematic, because it's half built.
I got it. I'm on board.
All right, cool. So we're in Manhattan on the west side in the Hudson Yards district, just north of the rail yards. And the overall master plan is from 33rd to 42nd Street, including a bridge, 33rd to 39th for the mid-block park. And phase 1 is the first 3 blocks under construction. Phase 2 is the next 3 blocks, and we have block 4 right here for phase 2A. benches, but then from block to block, the program changes. So for the first block, we have a subway exit for the number 7 subway line, a lawn, and mainly a lot of places for people to eat lunch, because there's going to be a huge number of people here. On the second block, again, we have another subway entrance, fountains with seating around them, and a gathering area with a little amphitheater. On the third block, we have a cafe, a light column, and we have a small play space, which we sort of jammed with everything we could, because we didn't know when the next play space, which is on block 4, was going to arrive. And luckily, it's here. So block 4 is the playground block, and I guess I'll get into that after. So some construction photos of the first phase, and I guess the importance of this is just to see how all of these elements which we're continuing to use are showing up in real life. So these long lines of curving benches, the plant bed rails coming out of and the benches coming out of the planting bed, the light poles, standard New York City park light poles, the concrete pavement and granite block pavers. You can see the subway entrance. This is all block 1. On block 2, this is the fountains under construction. So we're using Robinia on the width of the benches, and it's the same design language for the other pieces of Robinia in the project. On block 2, the slats on the fountains, and then also on the amphitheater seating. Again, always just trying to riff on the same materials. So there are the granite blocks and the pavement in the area where people are walking, and then inside the fountain we use the same granite but in a slightly different design and in a different scale. On block 3, the playground pre-play surface flooring with some of the little yellow round benches, the shade structure. You can climb and look at the Empire State Building. This is the light column during one of the lighting mock-ups, and the cafe is under construction here. And this white building here is where you'll see block 4 showing up, so you're looking north there. And some construction, this is just existing conditions photos. So part of the block is over an open Amtrak line. And then the surrounding streets, there's a bridge, you can see the bridge walls. And as always, we have many different jurisdictions to work with in this block, but you should never ever see any of these lines. That was one of the main goals of the project. So changes from concept to preliminary, you all saw this during the master plan and conceptual review, and we still have this as a play block, but the main change came out of conversations with the committee board, where once they realized that this block was coming online more immediately, they thought about what their needs were going to be and who's going to be using it, and they felt like they had very limited play space, and they needed to have it serve many different communities. They needed a place for small kids, for teenagers, for adults who don't have kids with them. And so they asked us to, after they visited Teardrop Park actually, one of the things they liked about it is that there were play spaces sort of at pods within the park, but other places that people could go. So they asked us to rethink this design so that people could walk through it. You can see here, you can now walk through the block, but here you were mostly on the edges because we were using the whole interior to play. And we have it divided into different play age groups. So there's a 2 to 5 area here. There are swings, which is a specific request for them. There's a climbing hill, which is not fenced off, and that's for 5 to 12. And then there's this whole area we're calling Granite Garden, which is playful in nature, but not a play space, and so it's more for grown-ups. Just went through some of these already, but here's the overall plan. And
these require less light than others?
No, they don't require actively less light, but we were conscious of the fact that one day there will be less light here. So the establishment process is going to be important. And as you can see, there are a lot of asterisks here in terms of the species selection. And so they carry through from the decisions we made in the first 3 blocks, which were about the shade trees not creating too much shade. They should be sort of feathery so that the understory gets the light that it needs. We're using, I guess, what's we're using is there's a reasonable poly for the understory of greens. And there's been consideration given to having different blooming at different times of the year. So the paving, we have, one of the ideas here again was that these are mid-block parks, so as you approach them, how do you make the transition from the standard city streetscape? You have standard city concrete on the blocks approaching, and then this sort of mid-tone pink is also, it's mostly the standard concrete with a sprinkling of sparkles, and then you get into it and it's more different with the granite that appears. And the granite offsets are sort of like a shadow of the plant beds, and they help it shape the space as you're looking at them. We're using porta plates for the play areas. One of the reasons we decided on this, I'm sorry, porta plates except for underneath the swings where we have the panels. And one of the reasons for this is that many of the play equipment have a lot of penetration, so we're balancing what would make the most sense over time. This seems to be the right approach. And we're trying to, again, create more of a narrative with them. So in the climbing area, it's sort of like a hill island in the middle of an ocean. In the garden area, this is all gardening play equipment, which you'll see as flowers. So it's a garden theme in terms of the colors, and then swinging sort of over a pond, this series of blues. Seating, we have the lines of curving benches. That's in the pink. Here, there's block 1. And then in the play area, this is a model of block 3, and then this is construction right now for block 3 that we put the play swings in. But just to see the context, again, these play areas are small, so everything should have a playful aspect to them. These little round benches. And then additionally, there's seating in the granite garden, which are these pieces, and it's this model, which I think you may have had time to see over here, and there's rendering, but basically it was an idea to take children's play blocks and blow them up into large pieces of granite. So you have this feeling of sort of, you can make your castle, you can actually walk through it, that's the idea. And that's where we put a lot of the evergreen trees as well. So this is the area that's for people of all ages, and we have this sort of larger granite staircase, which we thought about specifically for teenagers. There was a request for a place for teenagers. It could be like a hangout spot, but we thought having it in the middle where there was lots of good visibility was a good place to put it. And then of course there's a way to get out of here to the north. So fencing, this slide looks a little more aggressive than it actually is, but there are lots of different types of fences and enclosures. There's a 1-foot high plant bed rail, this is installed on block 1. That's this yellow dashed line, it's to keep people from wandering in and out of the plant beds. We have a 2-foot high version of it, which is these pink pieces in the play areas, and people can use those for seating. They're not formal seating, but they're meant to be sort of leaned against, and we have these in other projects which have been successful.
Those are 2 rails, I think?
I know we realize this picture is a little confusing after the fact. This is a shadow right here.
Oh, that's a shadow.
Yeah, so here's the section of it. There's a rail that goes to the top. And then there's a 2-foot high version which has the middle rail and the top rail. And that's the one that's these pink lines for the play areas. And then for the play area, we have to enclose the ones for the little kids and for the swing. So and that requires a 4-foot high fence. So instead of doing a fence and a fence, we tried to make this whole area feel sort of continuous and like one. So you have the 2-foot rail here, you can see across, and the chain link fence coming around the sides. And we've been working to sort of weave it around so you have enough planting that it's not a barrier in a negative way. We also like to plant it with climbing vines.
Why do you think a chain link fence is the right design?
So because we can plant it, customized for this project to deal with this physical space. So we have daisies, and we have the tulips, and the climbing oak leaves, which are at angles. We have this sort of like hand over hand, which is good for development. A little playhouse at the edge of the sandbox, so you have a good transition area. It will be accessible. There'll be a transfer platform there. All part of the design. One of the ideas is that as we work with parks on accessibility, to keep everything just as part of the design as opposed to adding additional elements. A sand table also made out of the same language, and some water within the sand area. And then in the granite garden, this is an overhead of one of the first stages of the model. You can see all the blocks sort of arrayed around the edges, using the same granites that we're using in the pavement. We added also this idea of accessibility. We added an additional feature, a sound feature, a paraphone up in this area. We haven't really involved that sense actively yet. And so here are just some views. This is a view looking north from the granite garden, and you'll see the views are in the granite garden, in the main walking space, and then from the swing area. They're all pretty close, but what we've been going for is you get a very different type of space from one view to the next. There's a lot in a very small space. So this is the granite garden looking north. Climbers up here, the seating stairs in this area.
Benches of granite?
These are all granite, yeah, large granite blocks. The seating stairs and the climber from the main pathway. And then from within the swing area with the yellow round benches and the double height plant rail looking into the flower garden and the sandbox house.
The yellow round is made of what?
Concrete. It's imprinted with the yellow, and it's also got a coating on it.
We could put down.
And they're all designed in different sizes. Some of them are very large for multiple people, some are small for individuals, some have, some S shape, there's a back to back. And that's it. So this is the overall model of the park, and then if you're interested, I can bring up a larger model that we did at the Granite Garden as a study.
In the model, what do the sticks represent?
Trees. Not evergreen, non-evergreen trees.
Of different heights, or that's just the sticks you had?
That's just the sticks we had. I think it was,
And the tissue?
these are the evergreens.
The white is the evergreen.
Sorry?
The white is the evergreen.
Yes, yes.
It's not intuitively obvious, but.
Question, based on the fact that now 3 blocks are underway or completed, are there any lessons learned that you've brought forth into these northern blocks?
Right, so one of them actually had to do with some of the detailing of the pavement, about the way the granite meets the edge. So the granite pavers meet the plant bed edges, and it's meant to feel a little loose in the planting grows over them. So we've done more study on the angles at which they meet the edge. It seems to be more successful when it's more parallel than more perpendicular. So we did go back to think about the layout of them mirrors off of the concrete edge that gets poured. And so we have now gone back and looked a little more specifically about how we might want to adjust some of those curves so they're not meeting the plant bed edge with too much of an orthogonal angle. I think that's one of the big ones we've been looking at as a lesson learned.
I guess I'm also interested in the use of the black locust, because I'm hearing so many mixed opinions on that in terms of, warping and splintering and this and that. And have you had any difficulty acquiring this or acquiring the quality you're looking for?
It's been pretty good. Landscape Forms is a supplier. And before we embarked on this, they assured us they had a very large inventory, and in fact that's true. They have. Most of the material they supply has been very high quality and are actually just in the process of punch listing the benches at the moment. And any slats that we have problems with, they've been taking out and replacing. So it's been pretty good. They have a process of kiln drying the wood that makes it fairly stable. So it's been successful.
I guess at some point in my, some years ago, we did a shadow study of this Pleasant Park and Boulevard,
Right.
and it's projected to be very, very shady.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, is your shade structure really necessary over the play area?
We felt like it's necessary now because we don't know when those buildings are going in. And it is for small kids. Once it becomes unnecessary, they can take it down and just leave the posts in place. But I guess we felt like when we don't have it, there are concerns over the heat and the amount of shade.
But those posts are enormous.
They
Those
are
like
really large.
12-inch diameter posts. So I would just urge you to think of some other strategy other than putting in, because you're not going to remove those posts.
No,
and
the
they're
posts are there
huge.
forever, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not happy about that shade structure.
Okay.
I think the space is already phenomenally claustrophobic, and this is going to make it much more so.
Okay.
So if it's, if you're being pushed to do it by the community, I would change your materials, which seem to me you don't have many heat gain
No,
materials.
we don't actually, it's true.
I think you just have to push back on them. That's why you're doing it in the first place.
It was more, I think, mainly it's just been out of our past experiences, feeling like it's been the right thing to do, but you're right, there are, and because it's more 2 to 5-year-olds, they need more sun protection, but, absolutely
You just
understand.
don't have that much sun here. You really don't. I mean, if you have 2 hours a day, it would be a lot.
Yes, I know the studies that you're talking about, once the buildings are there, it's going to be very, very shady. Absolutely.
Anyway, all right, any
Yes,
comments,
Chris.
questions?
When is when is it supposed to be completed?
I should defer to the prime on that, who is PD, right, or EDC.
Hi, I'm Samantha Ralford from EC. I'm with the project managers on this project. Are you inquiring about first phase, blocks 1 through 3, or blocks 4
Block 4.
for design?
Construction.
Construction is unknown at this point. Right now, we're focusing on design. We are looking towards the end of this year, but we have to meet with Amtrak first in order to develop that schedule.
So when will phase 1 be?
So phase 1 is blocks 1 through 3, and we are targeting substantial completion in a couple months and hoping to finish everything up this summer.
Including Hudson Boulevard is what else?
In the areas of blocks 1 through 3, yes, so up to 36th Street, the boulevards will also be complete, yes.
So you're going to already have enough shade from those buildings.
Well, the buildings aren't there.
Just the boulevard.
It's the streets and the landscape are going in first.
But it seems like there's going to be long-term construction around the parks.
Forever.
They're going to be little sanctuaries, little oases of calm in the storm.
Reconstruction,
Yes.
the years before the buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, any other? So I don't sense that there really are any conditions of approval other than asking you to just think about that shade
Shade.
structure. So would someone like to make a motion for approval? This is preliminary.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you very much.
Could you remind me, what are the lighting fixtures that are going in on the boulevards?
The boulevard of the, right, I had the same
Is
question.
that city light? Were we gonna do city lights there?
The presenter did a very delicate job of saying that this is in fact Frankenstein.
Yes, yes. It's a transformer base, the standard pole, then it's a helm head with a white light source.
That's not producing a metal picture for me somehow.
There's a picture,
Oh, I
you
was
got a
trying
picture?
to-
She had a picture.
You got a picture?
Purple, here we go.
Oh,
It's this one.
that one. So we didn't do city lights.
These are all, as I said, it's a Frankenstein of city standards. Though not less so than we get started with.
I mean, there's good and bad, frankly.
This is basically your standard city pole and base, and we chose a different type for it. Everything here is round. lights all over, so having one light that's a little bit distinctive that is just for the boulevard, shows it, obviously, would help to unite things a little bit.
It certainly does point out